The next exercise. Now I'm going to do a variation of a bent over single arm row, but I'm not going to use a dumbbell or a barbell like most of you probably use. I'm going to use a kettlebell. Again, this is working the lower part of our latissimus dorsi and helping build thickness and depth to our back, which, let's face it, a lot of people have great chests, shoulders, but far weaker backs because they don't train them. So it's time we start making the changes to work the back and to be able to bring the back up to the standard that many of our chests and shoulders are at. Now, of course, when lifting, when doing single arms, which you can do a double arm one, just make sure you are in a sturdy position. I'm going to use a bench here so I can really focus on each side of my body. Again, this is a great way to work on weaknesses if you have a stronger or a more pronounced left or right side, especially of the back. And this also works for shoulders, chests and arms, as we'll see later on. Great for weak point training. Okay, watch. Back straight, abs pulled in nice and tight. Imagine that belly button is sucked right in towards my spine. My core is tight, and I have a nice clear range to lift that weight up, and you'll see the muscle really having to work here. Okay, good strong breathing again. 10 repetitions, nice control. Here we go. Okay, very different feeling than the pull down I was doing earlier. Still working the same area of the back, but whereas I was doing a pull down, I'm now doing a pull up. It's working different areas, different insertion groups, and different origins of the muscle, therefore working a full spectrum of the muscle complex in the back. How can we vary this? Well, quite a few ways. If I had a bench here, which I could move the upper portion of the bench up, I can change the angle of how I'm lifting, therefore working a more lower central part of my back. What else can I do? I can rotate. At the moment, I'm doing a one plane movement, just bringing the weight up. If I had a rotation and twisting inwards, twisting my thumb inwards, I work far more of the rear deltoid. I'm hitting the bicep more, the forearm, and a different part of the back. Let me show you that one. This is a single arm kettlebell row with a rotation, inward rotation. I can tell you that is quite a bit harder to do. That rotation really increases the intensity of the exercise, and that applies to any of the exercises that I'm going to show you here today, or in fact if you do at home. Add a second movement in, a rotation, a twist, a longer pause. So many different variables that you can change to your existing workout to get that much more of a difference, more results, and to break through that plateau if you've hit one. It's about change. The time is now for change. Okay, something to remember. If you're working independent arms, working right then left, make sure you give yourself a rest period between each arm. By that I mean, don't do your right arm, then go straight into your left arm and wonder to yourself why you're not as strong in your left arm. You're fatigued. Even though you're working one side of the muscle, the others are still isometrically working. That means they're still actively engaged, even though they may not be contracting or eccentrically elongating. So give yourself rest, at least 30 seconds before switching sides. I've mentioned repetitions, aiming for between 8 to 10, no more than 12 repetitions per work set. That's the same for working independent arms, right and left. 10, 10. Rest, 10, 10. Switch it up maybe, 10 and 10. And then start off on your left arm. Yes, you're going to be a little bit weaker, and your right side is going to have more time to rebuild its strength and endurance, but then after you've done that and given yourself another rest period, start back on the right arm. See which side can recover faster and which is stronger. And that will give you a mental note next time which to start off. Maybe you want to start off on your weaker side all of the time. Get the most repetitions, get the most strength from the weaker side so that when you go onto the stronger side, the more dominant side, which we all have it, we all have different muscle groups and sizes. None of us are symmetrical. That's what we're trying to do with this workout. We're trying to balance our body out to get a symmetrical shape to our body. And that applies upper and lower. We don't want big shoulders, big chest, and tiny little chicken legs. It's the same with arms, chest, shoulders, even from the back. We want to have equal symmetry and proportion, and that is what we are doing with our workout today. Let's move on now to the front of the body, work on some chest and shoulders before moving on to the arms and lower down the body. Let's go.